Morning, guys. How's it going? Happy Friday. Let me go set up this room real quick, and then we can get started. It's 6:14 right now, so we have about 16 minutes till market open, which gives us a lot of time. We don't have no rush right now. I just want to make sure I get everything all set up. Once everything's set up, we should be good to go. So let me get all this set up right here. All right, let's get it right there. It's good to go. Let's go. Let me get the Zoom link for all of the premium members over here. All right, there we go with that. I'll set up right here. All right, pretty much everything looks like it's good. I'm gonna start letting people into the room. So I'm gonna get a few moments for everyone to make their way in. All right, people are slowly making their way in, so give it a few more minutes. So good right there. All right, cool, guys. It's 6:15 right now. We have about 15 minutes to market open, so no crazy rush, but we'll start analyzing shortly once everyone makes it into the room. All right, guys, good morning. Happy Friday. Hopefully you guys had a great week so far. I sure did. I don't think I had any losses this week. I'm trying to think. I don't think so, no, because we skipped a lot of trades. There was a couple like iffy trades like earlier in the week. You know, I didn't really take many trades like Tuesday, Monday, and then Wednesday. You know, I had a lot of big wins. Thursday, last night, or yesterday during the day, I had a lot of big wins too, and then last night as well. So I'll go over that later when I go over the totals and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I had a pretty great week. So happy Friday, everybody. Hopefully you guys had a week that was just as good as everyone else's. Looks like everyone had a great week so far too. We're gonna wrap it up today on Friday. Usually I don't trade much on Friday, so I'm gonna see if the market is moving smoothly. If it's moving, if it's moving a little choppy, then I'm probably not gonna trade. I'll just be answering questions and I'll be analyzing for you guys. Looking at the calendar right here, we have news coming up at 6:45. So market opens at 6:30. In about 15 minutes after that, we have news, which is a flash manufacturing PMI and flash services PMI, which is likely to affect the market. After that, we had Fed member Daly speaking at 7, and then Powell speaking at 8. So it's a jam-packed news day today. So, just to keep in mind, today's gonna be a really risky day. So if I don't see something that's really good on open or even like right after, I'm probably not going to be trading today. I'll be analyzing the charts and answering questions. So if you guys do have questions, make sure to drop all your questions in the chat. Otherwise, I'll probably be wrapping up the session early as well because Powell's going to speak at 8 and Daly's going to speak at 7. So like pretty much all morning, there's going to be news. There's going to be news from 7 to 8 and then 8 on after that. So after that happens, there's really no reason to be trading. Also, this news right here is medium impact. So it's going to be affecting the market as well. So pretty much all New York session is going to be pretty heavy. Also, they have a tentative pending federal budget balance today, and then we also have the Treasury currency report. These are all really, really big news events on Friday. So for one, Friday is a risky trading day to begin with. For two, the Fed speaking, and for three, Fed Chair Powell speaking. So there's a lot of news this morning. So I wouldn't really recommend people trade if you don't need to. If you do want to trade today, maybe use a smaller lot size. That's like one thing that I could recommend to you guys. Use a smaller lot size. Because today seems like it's going to be a very risky day. However you want to see it, but I mean, there's a lot of news that generally will, throw off the market a bit. So I'll just mark this stuff up. Obviously, you can see prices ranging. It's probably going to range for a bit, and then once it reaches, market open at 6:30, it's probably going to spike one way or the other. So morning, Lisa. Happy Friday. Morning, Matt. Morning, everybody. Hopefully you guys had a great week. I'll analyze I'll analyze US 30 shortly. As more people enter the room, there's only like half the people here right now. So I think a lot of people are straggling, making their way in. Once everyone's in here, then we can start going over stuff. So I'll give it a few minutes. Today's actually gonna be worse, B. I'm not sure if you missed like everything I just covered right now. So B said hopefully a better trading day yesterday is pretty much just ranging. Like today might not be ranging. So there's going to be movement today. There's definitely going to be movement today, but it's going to be movement that's going to be hard to catch because there's news coming. So market opens at 6:30, right? 15 minutes after market open, we have flash services and flash manufacturing PMI. And then right after that at 15 minutes after that, we have the Fed member daily speaking. And then after that, we have Powell speaking. So these are like really big events that's going to affect the market. So I don't think market's going to range, but it's going to spike. There's going to be a lot of volatility, and that's going to be a bad thing too, because if that's why I'm recommending that you guys use a smaller lot size, because if it spikes around, you can still survive some moves if that becomes the case. But if your stop loss is too tight, what might happen is it might trigger your stop loss before it reaches your TP, right? Because the thing is, the Fed's going to speak, and they're going to be talking about, obviously, like one thing that they're going to have to do is talk about the federal budget balance, because this hasn't been discussed yet. It's been tentative all week, and the Fed is actually speaking today, and Fed Powell. So they're going to have to cover this stuff today. So whatever they say is going to spike price, and that's something that you want to be careful of, because you might be like in a buy, right? You might be in a buy, and it'll like slowly make its way up, right? It's slowly making its way to your TP. I'm using this for an example. It's slowly making its way. And then Powell comes on and he's like, oh, we're going to tax whatever and all this stuff. And then when that happens, it's just going to spike all the way down. Or it could do vice versa. Vice versa, price could be going down. Like this could happen to you where you're in a position and just spikes down and hits you out. Looking at this, Sound of Music said Powell can't speak anymore. Shawn, he's deceased. You got the wrong Powell, bro. Jerome Powell is not deceased. That's Colin Powell. So I think I know that both of the names are Powell, but there's Jerome Powell, who's from the Fed, and there's Colin Powell, who was like a general. So those are two different Powells. You got him like super mixed up, bro. He's not deceased. He's well and alive right now. So yeah, Powell's definitely going to speak for sure. So what could happen, guys, here is price can either go down, and then when Powell speaks, depending on what he says, if he says something good or bad, I mean, Powell usually says stuff that's good. So price could be going down and then it'll just spike all the way up, or vice versa, price could be going up and then it can become, just range this way, and then it can go all the way up. Like, who knows, something could happen. And the reason why I'm going to be careful is because either of them can affect the market. So there's news today, like I mentioned, the Fed speaking at 7 and then Powell speaking at 8. So there's just a lot of stuff going on over here. Now you're good, Sound of Music. I know a lot of other people like thought the same thing. When I saw it, I thought the same thing too. But then I'll just show you. Let's see if I can find it over here, because we still got some time. It's only 6:22. So let's see. Powell death. Search this guy up real quick. All right, guys, so I just want to make sure that you guys are familiar with like who passed away. It was Colin Powell. So there's a difference between Colin Powell. So you can see right here, Colin Powell's death, COVID-19 death, followed by cancer diagnosis. So he had cancer already. So like, obviously, he wasn't doing so well, but COVID probably accelerated it. So that's Colin Powell. And then this is who we're actually looking for. This is Jerome Powell. So they're like totally different people. This guy's super like white. This guy's like not white. So, or maybe he's part white, but Colin Powell and Jerome Powell are totally different. Jerome Powell is the Fed, the Fed chair. Colin Powell was the former United States State Secretary. So two different Powells. He didn't really affect the market very much because, I mean, in his time was a long time ago. This is the Powell that we're talking about, who's probably going to be speaking today. So I just want to clear it up for people who are confused. I know some people are still confused and don't realize that, which Powell passed away, but the other Powell is different. So just clearing it up for you guys here. So Powell's definitely speaking today at 8. It's going to affect the market, so you just want to be careful with that. But yeah, good morning, everybody. Morning, Jay. Morning, Sisu. Morning, Maddie. Morning, Abraham. Morning, Adrian. Morning, B. Morning, everybody. So everyone's making their way into the room right now. I'm going to go ahead and analyze US 30. So currently right now we have a bearish bias. Reason for that is because price is below the pivots and the trend meter is red. Here on the 1 minute, looking over at the 3 minute, same situation. Price is below the pivots and the trend meter is red. So we're looking for a possible sell here with regard to technicals. Looking at the 10 minute, same situation, right? Everything here is pretty much indicating a sell bias. So price is below the pivots, trend meter is red on the 10 minute, sell bias on the 10, sell bias on the 3, sell bias on the 1. Very strong sell bias right now for the technicals. However, looking at the fundamentals over here, futures data only shows that it's -4 points right now. So it's not a very strong sell bias. It's a sell bias currently, but this can easily shift to a buy bias, within a few minutes when the market opens at 625. So market's opening in about 5 minutes. When the market opens, we'll refresh this. We'll see where it's sitting. If it's bullish, then it's going to push up. If it's bearish, it's going to push down. Looking over here at retail sentiment is currently 75% short. Now it's 74. I personally think this is going to be a buy today, because I think that with so many people short right now, you can see right here, the market started going short when US session open, right? So about 5 o'clock right here, US session open. As soon as US session open, it was dropping. During London, it was pushing up pretty much all night. So it was a nice push to the upside. And then right here, you can see how price started dropping, right? So what I think is going to happen here is they might fake people out. They might spike price slightly down. But overall, I think price is going to be going up. I think for today, price is going to be bullish. And the reason for that is because a lot of people like to, they want to close the week out strong, right? They want to close it out positive. So I personally think it's going to be bullish. Right now, the bias is currently a sell, but I don't really look at technicals, right? Technicals are the last thing I look at. The first thing I look at are going to be fundamentals, and the fundamentals aren't even that strong for a sell. Looking at the futures data, it's only negative 16 points, which is nothing, right? It's negative 13 points. This is probably going to spike right back up when the market opens in 4 minutes. So shortly thereafter, we'll see what happens. This is the 5 things to know before the stock market opens Friday. There was a couple news about stock futures mix after S&P's record close. Intel shares sink on revenue miss. This was obvious because Mac is not using Intel anymore. They have their own chips. So we already knew Intel was going to drop. So Intel's in. It's part of the Dow 30. So that was we were going to know that. Snap shares plunges after slowdown in online ads. Snap's not in US 30, so it's not a big deal. Pfizer's issues data on kids trial. CDC approves more boosters. So yeah, so they got booster shots from Moderna, so I gotta get a booster shot. I didn't see this, but yeah, Pfizer, if there's issues with it, Pfizer is part of US 30, so it might affect the market. And then lastly, Biden says corporate taxes hikes are unlikely in the spending bill. So a few things here to look at. I clearly don't trade off news, but if the market moves certain ways, this was released right before US Open. This probably caused price to drop a little bit, right? I don't trade news, but I like to see how the market reacts to the news. So, yeah, should be fine. All right, so market is opening in 3 minutes. Once the market opens, we can convert from the, sorry, that's allergies, man. This weather sucks here in California. All right, so yeah, looking at this right here, it hasn't really changed much, right? It's -9. I'm expecting this to be bullish on open. So what I think is going to happen is this is going to be bullish. And then what I'm going to see is price is going to do the opposite. I'm going to see price getting manipulated. So I'm going to see it being bullish, but I'm going to see this right here dropping on open. So on open, it's probably going to drop. And then after, it's going to swing back up. Maybe not right after, but eventually it's going to swing back up. That's kind of what I see happening. I see some sort of manipulation happening on market open, because I feel like a lot of people are expecting this to be bullish like I am, but they're going to dump it anyways. They're going to dump it and shoot it right back up, or they might just shoot it right up on open. So we'll see what happens here, and that'll determine whether we're going to take the breakout or not. Hey, Riga, morning, Lamar. Paul said, how is it? 74%, but 73% for me doesn't make a huge difference. Yeah, not very much. And yeah, Fahad just confirmed that there's news at 6:45. there is the manufacturing and services PMI. So yeah, definitely. Thanks for reminding us, Fahad. That's something that we're going to have to be aware of on market open. So market is opening in about 50 seconds. We got 50 seconds till open. Once we have that, we can see where the fundamentals are sitting. We'll see. I think today is going to be a bullish day. Personally, I think it's going to be a bullish day. But we'll see. You know, once the fundamentals give us what we need, we can determine from what's provided. So just patience, guys. Patience, if not like popping in right away. It's more so waiting to see what the market gives you and seeing what you can do with that. So market is opening in 15 seconds. 10 seconds. We got 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now the market is now open. So let's see what happens here. There goes with that bullish push right there. Let's check out the fundamentals. All right, refreshing this right here. Fundamentals are currently right down the middle. They're bullish, but it's like right down. It's not very strong. Looking at this right here, it's up 10 points. 10 points is nothing, guys. So it's nothing to be. And you can see right here, see how price comes down. They're trying to fake people out. So we'll see what happens here. I mean, in order for us to take a buy, we would need a strong bullish candle anyway. So unless we get that strong bullish candle, we wouldn't be able to take this trade here. This would technically be an entry using the high-low strategy. So we had right here, price broke the high. It didn't touch it previously. So it qualifies as strong or as a buy for that strategy. But I wouldn't have taken it because we don't trade. Well, I personally don't trade right before open. There you go with that bullish move. This technically right here would have been the breakout. I'm not going to take it, but I'll mark it up for you guys right here. Just like I mentioned before, guys, today's going to be a really risky trading day. So, I mean, if you guys want to take these trades, you guys can. I don't really have I'm not really inclined to take trades because I already took trades last night where I'm already in profit for the day. So this is the breakout right here, but I think it's going to be a little risky because the fundamentals still haven't really pushed one direction. You can see right here that it's, I mean, now it's 30 points, but it's still not very strong. Also, one thing that I was worried about is that it's getting close to the Asia high right here. So the reason why I didn't want to enter this trade, like if I saw this right here, I wouldn't want to enter it because it was passing the New York high right here. And then now it's getting close to the Asia high. This becomes a risky price point because what could happen here is price, see how price hasn't closed above it. If price doesn't close above it and closes red, it can just come straight back down. Same with this right here. If price comes up and rejects off this point, it can come straight back down from here as well. So I'm not really looking to take any crazy risks today because I'm already in profit. I don't really need to take any crazy risks. If price closes up here, then I might just catch it for like a small move, like nothing really crazy, but just something really small. But yeah, this would be the breakout. Reason for that's because we have a bullish candle right here. Fundamentals were bullish. They weren't that strong, but they were bullish. And then, so I'm just gonna see how this pushes right here. I'm not gonna enter now. At this point, it's too late. So there you go, full TP off the breakout for whoever caught it. I didn't take it, but for whoever wanted to catch it, that would have been the breakout. I was just worried because it's so close to the New York high right here and then Asia high, but it was straight to the top. And this is basically what I anticipated from the beginning, right? I said today was probably going to be bullish. It was either going to fake people out or it was going to come straight up. And that's exactly what happened here. So nice. CJ caught it. So CJ said, caught it. Sheesh. Yeah, no, definitely. Nice work, CJ. Yeah, so for whoever caught it, I'll give you guys a little update because a lot of you guys want to just know that it actually hit TP so that you guys can pull out. But yeah, it played out just like I anticipated. I was anticipating the bullish move and it played out. So congrats to whoever caught it. I didn't catch it myself. I'm fine. I'm already in profit for the day. So if you guys saw my profits from yesterday or last night, actually this morning, I locked in a total of 1,000 off this account and then close to 1,000 on this account. So I'm already up 2,000 for the day. This is why I'm not too inclined to take any trades. First of all, it's Friday. Second of all, it's there's a lot of news today. So yeah, great work to whoever caught it. So let's give you guys a little update there. Looks like a lot of you guys here caught it actually. So let me go and just and you can see prices coming right back down. This is why I wouldn't want to enter it right away, because if there's a big candle like this, it usually pulls back halfway down. So definitely great work to everyone who caught it. I'm going to check over here. It looks like a lot of you guys did catch it. So let me just go over here and I'll show you guys who caught that trade that we were just looking at. So looking over here, I'll just scroll down a little bit. Brian over here is up 3,904. Great work, Brian. Scrolling down right here, Roland over here locked in a total of 3,230. Nice work, Roland. Eric got it too. Congrats to you, Eric. Eric said I got it. He locked in a total of close to a thousand there. So he's up about, I think, about 10,000, right? Or 10, which, you know, equates to 1,000. So definitely great work right there. Eric caught it. New levels over here caught it too, locked in 310. Great work, new levels. Romanio here caught it too. He's at 1,579. Great work, Romanio. Angela over here locked in a total of 1,619. Great work, Angela. Her other account up 1,789. So as you guys can see, a lot of people here caught it, even though I didn't really take it myself. Albert here locked in a total of 731. Great work, Albert. And then Brian again right here. It's like cutting off your profit right there, Brian, but he did catch a bunch of micro scalps. So he said grabbed a bunch of micro scalps. So he's in profit pretty heavily right here. Definitely some great work right there, Brian. And Lisa over here up a total of 1,205. So yeah, as you can see, Lisa said got in late, a little risky. I was trying to get in late too, but when price pushed too high, I just, you know, it's too late for me to enter that trade. CJ over here as well too. So CJ caught move, locked in a total of about 7,000 for the day total. He was trading gold and US 30, total of 7,400 for the day. Nice work, CJ. Congrats. Isaac as well locked in a total of 320. Great work, Isaac. And Maddie over here too. Maddie locked in a total of 4,000 off that trade. So he took a little micro scalps right here, a couple accidents. And he took the breakout here, made 4,000 off that trade, total of 3,872 for the day. Great work, Maddie. Yeah, I think that's it for the profits. If you guys have more profits, send them over. I'll add them to the list. But for now, let's keep looking for some more more trades here. So all right, we're done with this breakout. I'll put the strategies here, but you guys got to keep in mind we have news coming up in like 10 minutes. So that's another reason why I'm not looking to enter any trades right now, because we have news coming up, and for one, I have a funded account, so you know I don't want to risk trading during news events, and for two, it's just risky, right? I'm not here to gamble, guys. I'm here to take trades that I'm like 100% sure going to hit, and that's why I personally have such a high win rate, because I don't take risky trades. I only take trades that I'm like, okay, this is for sure going to hit, and I take it. If it's not for sure, I'm probably not going to take it. Because I've been trading for so long, guys. You know, it's all about consistency. A lot of people are still stuck on making like big profits every day. Like big profits every day are necessary. Literally, I make like, well, you guys have seen what I make. I make pretty solid. It's not like out of this world profit, but it's good profit for daily. It's like making my attorney salary every day, right? So it's I mean, you guys will figure it out, right? I've been trading long enough to understand how I like to trade, what makes me comfortable, what like keeps me low stress. So you guys will figure it out, man. I like this weather today. Freaking sucks. It's getting much colder here in California, so all my allergies are like coming in. All right, so here I have all the strategies all set up for the 10-minute here. We're going to be looking at the daily. I generally don't take the daily on Friday because it's a 24-hour move and the market's closing. So I'll just mark this up here. If we see it, then we'll take it. If not, it's cool. You know, we'll just keep watching for any other trades here. So that's the 10-minute daily right there. We have the snipe right here. Let me see if there's any zones in this area. All right, so we got one right there. One right there. And one right there. So I'm gonna turn this off. There's no entries available, but I just marked this up so that you guys can see. This is a snipe strategy that we'll be using. So for the 10-minute, we're looking at the daily and the snipe strategy. For the 3-minute over here, we're looking for the 3-minute daily, and also the damn, this thing's pushing up. So what I anticipated this morning, guys, I anticipated a big bullish move, and that's exactly what's happening. a lot of people want to ask me like, how did I know that was going to happen? There's just a lot of things that were pointing towards it. The main thing that was telling me I was going to push up was the fact that the retail sentiment was so short. You know, that's why I never look at the charts first, guys. The charts are the last thing I look at. Like, I don't know if this makes sense to you guys at this time, but see, like I didn't even look at the charts. Charts were showing a bearish bias. But then I told you guys, I don't care about the charts. I'm looking at the fundamentals because I want this to open here. It's above 100 points. And then I was looking at retail sentiment. These are the main things I was looking at. And then that's how I made my anticipation that price was going to be bullish for the day, right? And look at price. It's bullish because I don't look at the candles, you guys. If you guys look at the charts all the time, the charts are usually what throw people off because everyone follows what happens on the chart, but the charts are laggy. Like once you see the move, it's already happened, right? Like for example, here, if you're following this right here, you wouldn't catch this move until it came below here. But if I was looking at the fundamentals, and I would already know that it was bearish like at that time. So, you know, you guys got, I don't know if this is like helping you guys or confusing you guys, but this is definitely how I trade and how I find things a lot better. So these are the 3-minute strategies, the daily entry, pivot scalp, and then the 1 minute over here as well. There was a scalp entry right there. Obviously I didn't take that trade, but this would, you know, obviously this would indicate where price would be at. So, other than that, guys, I mean, today's going to be, so there's a lot of factors today, right? There's news coming out at 6:45. So here's a couple factors I'm going to show you guys. News is coming out at 6:45. We have Fed member Daly speaking at 7, and then we have Fed Chair Powell speaking at 8. So this is some of the things that are going to affect the market. Obviously, the next thing that's going to affect the market is that we're at an all-time high, right? This is the all-time high right now. So this is going to affect the market because, you know, why else wouldn't it? It's at an all-time high. This is like where price is highly manipulated because a lot of people are betting on whether price is going to go up or price is going to go down. Looking at retail sentiment, it looks like obviously a lot of retail traders are looking for the sell, right? A lot of people are trying to catch it as they want to catch the top, and then they just want to write it back down. However, this doesn't necessarily mean price is going to keep going down. I think price is going to keep going up as this number here increases. However, I mean, it just depends. Yeah, like what I would personally do is I would wait for a confirmation to see like where price is going, right? If price starts to drop slowly, from my perspective, they're going to be stacking up more sells here so that more people chase that drop because the market makers and institutions don't make money from people shorting the market. And there's only a few people, right? They want to push this up to like 74, 75, 76, 78, 80+%. When that happens, when they spike price up, more people get stopped out and they make more money. So that's pretty much what we're waiting for here. So I'm not going to be looking at any specific trades right now. I mean, I'll mark stuff up. So I marked up that high right there, and then I'll mark up the low right here. But we'll be looking for some possible entries. However, we do have news coming up at 6:45. We just don't have much gap in between. We have news coming up at 6:45, and then we have news coming up at 7. So it's like, now what am I supposed to do here with this? Because obviously I don't want to, I can't trade during the news. Let me check Ftmo to see if there's anything that's restricted. CJ is asking if I'm an attorney. Yeah, I'm an attorney. I'm a licensed attorney here in California, but I don't practice anymore. I just trade. I quit law like last year before COVID. So nothing here is restricted on Ftmo. So you can trade if you're funded, guys. It's fine to trade, but it's just gonna be risky. So it's not necessarily. I mean, you can trade, but it's gonna be risky, obviously, because the price spikes around like it's doing right now. You can still like blow your account, but Ftmo is not gonna. They're not going to penalize you for trading during the news. So you guys can trade, but it's I'm probably not going to be trading. So here's a new all-time high, got pushed up higher right there. Other than that, I think that's it for now. Yeah, that thing was spiked up like super heavy. So yeah, great work everybody for whoever caught it. I mean, I didn't catch it myself, but it's all good. I'm just going to be waiting for well, actually, I'm not going to be waiting for much because like the news is coming up at 6:45. I'm just going to wait and see how price reacts to the news. And then from there, I'm going to go and see where where price goes after that. So what I'm going to do here is I don't trade news. When it hits news at 6:45, I'll just mark it up for you guys here. I'm going to see what happens to price. I'm going to see whether price spikes down or it spikes up. But I don't trade based off news. Some people like trading strictly off news. They just like to take trades like right when the news happens. I don't do that. I wait and I see what happens after, and then I see how price reacts to it after. Because sometimes there's like a late reaction to news. Sometimes you don't even get a reaction right here. Like nothing will happen to price, and then like 5 minutes later, you see people start to react to it. It'll just start to spike up or it'll spike down. So we'll see what happens next. But yeah, we do have the high established right there. News is coming out in about 25 seconds. Hey, Kenny, how's it going? Morning. All right. News is coming out in about 15 seconds. And if you guys are looking at where my timer is, it's right here on the side. So that's why when I count stuff down, I have the timer right here. I should get a huge clock, the timer, just so I can see the countdown bigger. But okay, news is happening right about now. All right, so there's the news right there. We'll go and refresh this. The news was just released. Refresh that right there. All right, news has not been released yet. Not yet. And not yet. Let's see. All right, so it's negative actually. Negative flash PMI. Flash manufacturing PMI. Services has not been released yet. Let's see. Positive. So it's a toss up. One's positive, one's negative. So you can see right here, price didn't really move much, right? It's just a little toss up right there. So I'm going to see if I can catch at least one trade before the Fed starts speaking in like the next 15 minutes. If I don't catch a trade, that's fine. I'm already in profit for the day, so it's not really a big deal. So if you guys have questions, drop your questions in the chat, and I'll answer as many questions as I can before we get off for the session today. The session's probably not going to run too long because it is Friday, and it's just not a good day to trade in general. A lot of news, plus it's Friday, plus we're at the all-time high. There's just a lot of things here to take into consideration if you guys are, wondering to enter any trades here. So let's see. Let's see what's going on over here. All right, so price is breaking below here, establishing new lows. So what I would be doing here personally is I'll be drawing some liquidity zones because the sentiment is so high still. It's still 73%. So a lot of people are still short. What I think they're going to do right here is I think price is going to drop slightly to lure in some more sellers. So I think price is going to drop slightly. Maybe come back up, come back down slowly. And then when there's enough sellers in the market, they're just going to spike price right back up. So that's kind of how I see the market, because the sentiment is still kind of, it's high, but it's not high enough. Like it's not high enough to get that big push to the upside. This morning before we went on live, it was 77% short. So as you guys can see, all the people who were short just got stopped out because they were short here trying to chase this drop because it looked like it was going to drop. And this is why I don't look at the candles first, more at the charts in general. I look at the fundamentals to see where price is actually going. From down here, price pushed up about 1,800 pips. So think about it. If you're in this position and you don't have a stop loss wider than 1,800 points, you're going to get stopped out, right? This number here was 77% when I first got on this morning around like 6 o'clock, about 30 minutes ago, 40 minutes ago. As soon as this got pushed up, everyone got stopped out. So, or even if it pushed up a little bit right here, people got stopped out. So it's something to, to keep in mind. I think I think the all-time high is probably gonna get broken at least one more time for today. It's just, it's just a matter of time. All right. So we're just watching this as it continues to drop lower. 6:48 right now. So the Fed's going to speak in about 12 minutes. What I'm looking for right now is I'm looking for price to bounce up, like either a buy signal, or I'm looking for a double rejection off the low or the high here. to apply my variation of the strategy, the high-low strategy right here. So we'll see what happens. Paul said, saw the drop on NASDAQ because fundamentals lined up, made a quick 1,200. I'm up 1,800 right now. Nice. Congrats, Paul. Yeah, so, like I was mentioning with the fundamentals and with retail sentiment, guys, it's not only for US 30. Paul here uses it for NASDAQ as well. So, I mean, you can use it with whatever you guys want. I personally, I mainly trade US 30. This is what I'm good at trading. So that's why I stick to it. But if you guys like trading other stuff, the options are open to you. All right, so one more question here. Let's see. So Ellis is asking, you're saying you expect a big push up after sentiment goes up. I think you got it all mixed up, Ellis. I didn't say that. I said I was expecting a push up because sentiment was low. So I think you might have gotten that mixed up right there. The thing was sentiment was low, it was like 77%. That's why I was expecting a push up because all the retail traders were short. If retail traders are short, market makers do the opposite. So that's why I was expecting the push up because so many people were short. So I think you got that mixed up. You're asking what is considered a big push up, kind of like what we say this morning or bigger. I mean, it's kind of hard to explain to you like what a big push up because I mean, just look at the chart. This is a big push up, right? So anything out of the norm is a big push up. Like candles here normally move like 100 pips, right? If you're comparing, look at these candles right here. If you're comparing a 500 pip move versus a 100 pip move, I mean, it's all subjective. That's what I'm trying to get that across to you because like I can't exactly tell you what's a big push up, right? If you compare this area right here, so I'm just going to show you. If you compare this area right here to like one candle right here, wouldn't this can be considered a big push-up? It might not, right? It might not seem like a big push-up to you. It might seem like a big push-up to me. It's like hard for me to really tell you what's a big push-up. You can just stare at the chart. If you took everything off the chart right here, like let me just go to a clean chart. This is considered a big push-up, right? You like there's no explanation behind it. It's like, okay, price is going slow, like low right here. Like it's barely moving, right? If you just put a marker right here, price is moving like 100 pips. If it moves anything double than that, this is like double and it's barely like one candle. This would be considered a big push up. This would be a huge push up, right? It's moving 5 times the movement of this entire section right here. So, I mean, it's subjective. It's really what you think is a big push up might be different for me. But I mean, for me, I would want to say it's common sense because obviously, it might not be common sense to you if you didn't realize that this was a big push up. But you just got to practice, right? Like from the beginning, Alice, I've been telling you have to practice because if the more you practice, the more that you'll start to understand things. But this is what I would be considering a big push up. It's just anything bigger than what was already being pushed. Like you can measure any candle here. Everything's moving 100 pips per candle. And then all of a sudden we have a double push, 200 pips, 300 pips, 500 pips, 1,000 pips, right? That's what I would consider, a big push up right there. So, all right, cool. Yeah, does that help you with it, Ellis? I just want to make sure because if you guys are asking questions here, there's no right or wrong questions and there's no dumb questions here. Like you guys can ask me whatever questions, like no matter how basic it is, because I want to make sure that you guys understand stuff. But yeah, I mean, some of this stuff is just like stuff that I can't really tell you, like what's a big push, right? Anything bigger than it's moved before. So hopefully that helps you with that, Ellis. Other than that, let's see. Donovan's asking, hey, Shawn, where is the retail sentiment located? It's located on IG sentiment over here. So you can just search up IG US 30, retail sentiment, or sentiment in general, IG sentiment, you'll find it right here. I'll just give you the link here. This is probably easier. So here's the link right here with that. Also, another question here. Roger said, man, perfect breakout this morning. I picked the wrong day to oversleep. Yeah, Roger, you missed it. It was perfectly like straight to TP. I didn't catch it myself though, because the thing is, I was finding it to be a little bit risky, but I was anticipating the bullish move, which is pretty much what happened there. Looking at current price right now, we have a new high established right here. So I'm going to see if I could catch at least one trade for the day. I don't mind trading when the Fed's speaking, but when Powell is speaking, that's like for sure going to affect the market. Fed member daily is probably just going to give a little rundown of like what the meeting's going to go over. But when Powell speaks, that's definitely going to affect the market. He's probably just going to give like the rundown of like, the breakdown of what's going to be happening or what they're going to be talking about during the session. So that's, definitely going to affect the market. Yeah, Hugo said Fed daily speaks in 8 minutes, Powell in 1 hour and 8 minutes. Yeah, definitely. Thanks for reminding us, Hugo. And I don't want to trade during the Fed or during Powell because I'm already in profit for the day. So myself, I'm not in profit a lot. Like I'm not in profit as everyone else here, but I'm still in profit pretty solidly. So for me, I'm in profit about 2,000 for the day. I made 1,063 on this account and then 963 on this account. So I'm doing good across both of my accounts so far. And it's not bad for Friday, right? It's a nice profit. Usually I don't trade on Friday. Looking over here, Jordy locked in a total of 1,832. Nice work, Jordy. Albert over here locked in a total of 1,058. So a lot of people actually caught more trades here. Like everything that I've been marking up right here, a lot of you guys have been catching these trades and locking them in. Looking at this right here, Kip locked in a total of, man, I don't even know how much Kip locked in, but he locked in a lot. So he's been trading US 30 pretty much all day, NASDAQ as well. So he's up about 12,000, 20,000, 30,000. Damn, he locked in a lot of profit. I think this is for the week. So this is all of Kip's trades for this week. He's up really heavily. I mean, I'm up pretty heavy too for this week. Wednesday, I traded a lot. If you guys saw my trades, Jalon over here as well. Took the buy, locked in a total of 5,800. Nice work, Jalon. Sisu over here up 6,087. Nice work, Sisu. So great work amongst everyone here. Twan too. So Twan locked in a total of 637. Nice work, Twan. Yeah, so everyone here is doing pretty well. You guys are all killing it. So great work, everybody. News is coming up in about 5 minutes. Well, not really news, but the Fed Daily is going to be speaking shortly. So it is definitely going to be a bit risky. Emmanuel said, every time I oversleep, it's a perfect breakout. OMG. Done for the day. Yeah, no, definitely, Emmanuel. I wanted to catch at least one trade, but doesn't look like I'm going to be getting one anytime soon. So if you guys do have questions, drop your questions in the chat. I'll try to answer as many. Well, I'll answer all the questions until we wrap up the session today. But I don't think I'm really going to be trading because there is news coming up shortly. So one thing that you guys want to keep in mind is that when the Fed speaks, it's going to affect the market. Also, today they're speaking about important topics. They're talking about the federal budget balance and then also the Treasury currency report. So with these two right here, these will affect the market, one way or the other. Also, we have Fed Chair Powell speaking at 8. He's going to for sure affect the market. Daily might not affect it as much, like I was just mentioning, but there's a lot of big topics that are going to be discussed today. So obviously, it's going to affect the market. You're going to see some like spikes in price in either direction. Jose's asking, what time do you trade at night? I trade randomly, Jose. I don't have a set time when I trade. I just look at the market, and if I see a good entry, then I'll take it. Like I usually look at the fundamentals here. The fundamentals are super heavy on one side, and the fundamentals are opposite of the sentiment. Then I'll usually trade in that direction. So there's no specific time that I trade. I just trade whenever I look at the chart and I see something good. If I see something good, I'll take it. If not, then I'll just get off the chart and I'll come back on like a couple hours later, and I'll just keep checking every couple hours to see if there's something good. But there's no specific time where I necessarily trade. Henry's asking, has anyone had any issues with Hugo's Way or using Hugo's Way? You probably want to ask that question because Henry, you put that question directly to me. So I don't think nobody else can see your question. Go to the drop down menu and then make sure they should put the question to everyone. Because for me personally, if you're asking me, I haven't had any issues with them. Well, I had a small issue, but I started to figure out where the issues happen. So with Hugo's Way, I noticed that they have server issues like at night. So I stopped trading with them at night. It's like their servers would freeze and stuff like that. But that was like years ago. That was like 2 or 3 years ago. I don't know if they fixed it because I don't really trade with them as much. But personally, I've never had any other issues with Hugo's Way. Their payouts are fine. The deposits are tedious. I mean, I hated doing the Bitcoin deposit, but I figured out a way to do it easier. I just deposit through a Cash App. So yeah, no issues with me overall. The only thing that was a problem was the server issues, but once I started to realize that there was issues during a specific time, I just stopped trading during that time on Hugo's way, and then that fixed my problem. So other than that, no issues with him so far. Zachary's asking, is there a maximum number of trades you can do on Ftmo? Not at all, Zachary. You can take as many as you want. Just make sure you don't blow your account. So over trading can lead to blown accounts. That's probably, you know, your biggest, not just you, but like a lot of other people. That's a big issue for a lot of people. But you can take as many trades as you want. There's no max on it. You just got to make sure that you stay within the parameters of your risk, whether it be the daily or the max limit for your risk parameters. All right, cool. It's 7 o'clock right now. Daily is about to speak right now. So if you guys have questions, you know, continue to drop your questions in the chat. If I don't see any questions within the next, you know, 30 minutes or so, then I'm just going to call it a day, because I'm not going to be trading during news, obviously. But if you guys want me to cover anything, analyze anything, go over any strategies, talk about, I don't know, Ftmo, whatever you guys have questions with, you know, I'm here to help you guys out, but I can't help you guys out unless you guys ask the question. So, and another reminder, guys, so next week, I'm probably going to do a mentoring session with you guys, and I'm finally going to be releasing the indicator for you guys, this high-low indicator. So during that session, I'll be going over the high-low scalp strategy in detail. I'll be introducing this new indicator to you. I don't have a date set in mind yet, but it's going to be sometime next week. I just got to figure out what my schedule is looking like. I think my testing's done, right? I've been testing this for like a couple weeks now, maybe a couple months now. And yeah, I mean, pretty much for the most part, it looks good. I mean, you guys saw my profits this week, so I'm in profit like a lot for this week. I don't think I had any losses. So like, this is today. I had made about 2,000 across both my accounts. Yesterday, I locked in about 1,700 on this account, 1,700 on this account. So that's like another 2 right there. I have these right here from the day before, all wins. My big wins were like on Wednesday, I think. So on Wednesday, I had about 9,506. Off this one, they're all wins. And then other account, 9,056. All wins here. So in total, like, you know, my profit, if you add everything up and you look at like all the trades that I took this week, I've had like massive wins the entire week. Like, I don't think I've had any losses this whole week that I can remember. Just looking at my profits here, they're all wins, right? So I don't see any losses here for this week. So I had a pretty good week so far. Yeah, pretty much every day this week, they're all wins. This is from like pre-market the other day. Yeah, I mean, it's been a great week for me so far. So yeah, hopefully I can get this out to you guys by next week. That's the plan. I mean, obviously things can come up if there's issues with the indicator, with the strategy, but for the most part, I think everything's pretty solid. So I will be releasing that to you guys next week. And, you know, a lot of people keep asking me if there's ever going to be discounts for K2. Probably not, guys, because the demand for K2 is too high. And then with me releasing this new strategy and indicator, price is likely to go up, because if new people sign up, if you guys already sign up to the strategies, that's fine. You guys will have access to it, and you lock in that current price. But people who want to sign up after, you know, price is going to go up. And the reason why price goes up is because we want to keep access to K2 limited. We want to stay under the radar, right? There's like probably about 130 of you guys here. We don't want 1,000 people using K2, right? Because if we go on the radar, people are like, the market makers are going to start to understand like, oh, how are certain people winning? They're going to try to do opposite of what we're doing. So I'm trying to stay under the radar, guys. So that's why we have to increase price for K2, because we don't want so many people using K2. If you guys are here already, that's great. You know, you guys are going to grow with K2. You guys are going to continue to have access pretty much forever. But for the new people who want to sign up and join K2, you guys have seen what we yield here, right? You guys see everyone's profits every single day. If we keep doing this every single day, we're going to be on the radar, right? Like, you see people here locking in thousands of dollars a day trading with K2. These aren't even my accounts. These are like other people in K2. If people continue to do this every single, look at, like, check out Kip. He's up like 30, 40K. Like, if Kip does this every single day, K2 is going to get on the radar. And I don't want that to happen. I want us to just stay, you know, low key under the radar. There's like 100 of us here, and we can just keep profiting, right? I'm not trying to get this too big where there's too many people here. So that's why we got to increase price, because we only want people who are serious to be trading with us. And you know, we just want to keep this going, because we've been trading like this for the past well, I've been trading like this for the past 5, 6 years, and I've been doing great. I was like skeptical to share this with people like to the public, and then I realized that I should share with you guys, because what's the point? I might as well share it because I can teach other people to do this, and it just makes things easier on me too, because you guys help me with testing and stuff like that. So yeah, the strategy is probably going to keep. I mean, obviously, we're going to keep getting better and better every day, and we're going to keep adjusting to the market, but we're definitely going to try to stay under the radar. So if you guys want access to it, make sure you upgrade to the strategies as soon as possible, because as more people sign up, the number is going to keep increasing. When you see more people using it, that's when you're going to see price increase higher and higher for K2, because we want to keep it limited. All right, let me see if there's anything else right here. So let me just update this right here, push this up slightly. So price hasn't really moved yet. Federal Daily is speaking right now. It's 7:04. So he just started speaking a few minutes ago. I don't think it's being streamed right now. So let's just go back over here and we'll answer any other questions. So let me scroll up real quick. So let's see. Fire Tablet said, at this point is the new low now, to make sure I'm looking at the right chart. So this is going to be the new low right here. Fire Tablet at 7:01. So the new low is currently at, here, I'll just use this thing to confirm the price. The new low is currently at 35,697. That's going to be the new low right there. Let me scroll down a little bit. B is asking, have you lost at all with the high low? I don't think I've seen one. Yeah, I've lost one accidentally because I entered and it didn't. That's when we didn't have this requirement here. So I have had losses, guys. Not like, obviously I'm going to have losses with the strategy. I had losses before I added the other requirements here, because before there was just like one requirement here. But then what I did was I've been testing this live with you guys every day. Every time I see something to add onto it, I added onto it, right? So this started with like one requirement. And then when I added all these requirements, I haven't had any losses. So once I added all these here, I've had like almost no losses, or none that I can remember. I took one loss, but it was like an accident. I entered and I was testing a different strategy. So I've been testing other variations to the strategy. I have 2 variations right now. I'm going to teach you guys just the main one. The variation is like what I used to lock in the 20K a couple days ago. So like this right here, this is all from the variation. I just stayed on the chart pretty much all day, and I locked in 10K per account right here. They're quick moves. During Asia session, it's a little different, but you guys can see I got confident with it, right? Because I increased my lot size to 15 lots. I usually use a 10, but at this thing, like, I was never losing. I just kept winning. So I just increased my lot size, and I went for a smaller target during Asia session. So yeah, haven't really had much of I mean, it's been great. I mean, I've been doing this for like what, 2 months now, 3 months, this new strategy. It's been great. So most of the time I haven't really had any losses. The only times I had losses was when I was trying to test out new requirements, or I was testing out different variations. But from this right here, with the basically almost finished strategy, this has been great, and I haven't had any losses so far that were on purpose. Obviously, one thing that I do have to figure out still, so this is what might lag it a little bit, is I need to figure out the TP stop losses. That's going to be the main thing. I kind of have it set right now to what we have for the pivot scalp, but we might have to change that because it's just different between sessions. All right, so let me see if there's anything else over here real quick. Okay, let me scroll up real quick and see what else am I missing over here. So next question is from, let's see. So Prometheus over here is asking, let me check. I'm looking at the charts still, guys. So I'm looking for any possible entries, but I'm also answering questions. Prometheus is asking, have you just been using the Hilo recently, or have you been mixing it with the K2 momentum pivots when you're trading solo? I mix it up, Prometheus. The thing with this is that, so we have this high-low strategy right here, right? The thing with this is that sometimes it'll overlap. So let me just show you real quick what I mean by that. So looking at this over here, strategies will overlap, where you'll have like 2 entries with the same like there's two different strategies that are being applied and they both apply. So like looking at this right here, this is going to be a clear example. So looking at this right here, you see how price broke the low right here? This is an entry using the high-low scalp. This is also an entry using the pivot scalp strategy, right? Because looking at this right here, so the first requirement for the pivot scalp, you want to confirm a valid K2 momentum signal, right? We have a valid sell signal right here. Reason for it being valid is that we have a sell signal with a red candle within it. Price is below the pivots, so this would be an entry for the 1 minute pivot scalp. That's an entry using this strategy. Also, looking at the high-low scalp, you want to confirm the previous swing, which is right here. Confirm a break and close past the previous swing that broke and closed right here. You want to confirm the direction of momentum. This is a red sell signal, so you're trading that direction. Price is not ranging, and price has not touched previously, right? So looking at this entry right here, it lines up for both of them. So if I was to see this, which I did see it, but I didn't take it because I was just getting ready this morning. This right here would be like almost guaranteed to hit. Like if I saw this, I'm like, this is for sure going to hit and I'm for sure going to take it. So if I saw this, well, I did see it, but I didn't take it because I was still getting ready. But look what happens next. It just goes straight down, right? And it falls between both the strategies. So that's the thing with this is that you can combine them with other strategies. If they're entries for 2 different strategies or 3 different strategies, then it's almost guaranteed going to hit. And that's exactly what happened here. So this is something to keep in mind. I still use every strategy. I don't just stick to one. I use pretty much every strategy, but every other strategy is just an extra confluence. So say, for example, if I'm looking for a high-low scalp, and then I see a pivot scalp and they're both lined up at the same time, that's going to give me a double confluence, right? I'm like, this is going to hit, this is probably going to hit for the scalp for the high low, but it's also going to hit for the 1 minute. So I'm like, all right, well, why wouldn't I just take this trade? And I would have taken it right there and it would have hit full TP. So that's how I would apply it. But yeah, I mean, it works perfectly fine. All right, so let me see if there's anything else here for me to look at. Next question is from Roger. Roger's asking, it looks like you're taking sells and buys. I assume those are high-low strategy. Not exactly, Roger. So it's the same thing that I just mentioned. I'm not applying only one strategy. I'm applying different strategies as they come on. Sometimes they're going to line up, sometimes they're not. So like, for example, here's like another example again. So as you can see, there's a buy signal, right? And it broke the high here. This is going to be an entry for the high low, and it's also going to be an entry for the 1 minute pivot scalp or whatever. You guys can see that they overlap. If you just look at the chart, like I'm literally just staring at the chart right here. Every time I see something break, it indicates that it's a high low. Sometimes it's a variation of the high low scalp strategy. But something that I do want to recommend to you guys is stop trying to do too much, right? Because people keep asking me so many questions and you guys don't even have the basic strategies down. So what I recommend is for the people who keep asking me questions every day, and I'm pretty sure you guys know who you are, make sure that you get the basics down first. If you can't get the basics down, you can't get the high-low scalp strategy. I know it looks easy to you, but when you actually apply it, you're probably gonna blow your account because you don't even know like what the basic strategy here is for like the pivot scalp, right? And I just want to make sure that this isn't just like one person. This is to like a lot of people. Because people keep messaging me and asking me, well, they want to like learn the strategy, but they can't even learn the basic 1 minute pivot, the basic 3 minute pivot, the basic daily. Like these are so basic. There's like one requirement for the daily strategy, right? You're looking for one signal, and some people can't even get that down. So what I recommend, guys, is don't move too fast. You guys have to learn things. There's a reason why we have a foundation here with the basic strategies before we get to something more complex like the high-low scalp. Because the thing is, if you guys don't learn the basics, you're never gonna get any better. You're just gonna keep trying to learn what's new, and you're just gonna blow your account. So I just want to make sure that other people, you know, are taking that in consideration. And that's why I never wanted to share the strategy with you guys, because I've had the strategy before. I've been using the strategy for years actually, and I just haven't really told anyone because it's a very lucrative strategy, but it's like hard for me to explain it to you guys. That's why I had to make specific requirements here, because I'm able to see these entries here without even like needing these indicators or without needing all of these requirements, because I already know what to look for. So that's about it. So let me scroll up real quick. All right, I think that's it for that right there. Other than that, okay, so that's it for that question right there. I think you have another question too, Roger. So I'll come back and get to your next question. But yeah, for my buys and sells, I'm using different strategies. I'm not just using one strategy. The rest of your question here said, if the fundamentals are strong, say buy, do you still feel comfortable taking sells on that strategy? So that's another thing that like you're getting too ahead of yourself, Roger, right? You want to stick to you want to stick to stuff that like that you're comfortable with, right? I don't think you're comfortable trading against the trend. So I think you should just trade with the trend or trade with the with wherever the fundamentals are giving you. For me, I'm taking buys and sells in both directions because I'm using a different strategy that I haven't even introduced to you yet. So I think what I tell you, Roger, is stick to one thing and stop switching to different strategies, right? If you find one that you like we know we had our mentoring session. If you find one that you like, master that strategy. I think you're trying to learn way too much. Like you've only been in K2 for like a month or 2 months now, but like you're trying to learn everything at once, which is not going to be good because you're just going to mix up everything and be confused. So, Roger, I think you need to just like stop trying to do too much, okay? And then you need to focus on just one strategy. So what I recommend, Roger, is just stick to one strategy and have questions for that specific strategy, and don't go against the fundamentals. The thing is, I can go against fundamentals because I'm going for smaller moves and I know what I'm doing. For you, it's like a different story because like you're still trying to learn stuff. And what I would recommend is even once I release this strategy, just find one that you like, Roger, and let me help you master that. Because the thing is, if you're learning the pivot scalp strategy, the high-low scalp strategy, the daily strategy, and there's like so many strategies here, right? If you're trying to learn all of them, you're going to mix them all up and you're going to get confused and you're going to make mistakes. And I don't want that to happen with you. I want you to be successful. So I want to help you with like one specific strategy and trade in that specific direction. So that's, short answer to your question is, let me just go back to your question. Yeah. So your question here was, if the fundamentals are strong from one direction, do I still feel comfortable taking trades in the opposite direction? I feel comfortable. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to feel comfortable. So don't do it. So that's what I can tell you now. Don't do it because I know what I'm doing and you obviously are not there yet. So once you get to that point, you can do what I'm doing. But currently right now, don't do that. Just trade in the direction of the fundamentals and the bias. That's going to be where you want to remain. So other than that, Ye's asking, thank you for your sharing your knowledge. Definitely, Ye. I'm here to help you guys out. Abraham, let's see. Abraham said, I'm paying membership as my home rent or any other bill. Love trading with you, Shawn, and the team. It's like family. Definitely, Abraham. I agree too. Jose is asking, is anyone else having trouble seeing the Dow 30 chart? Let me refresh it real quick, Jose. So let me refresh this right here. This is looks fine on my end. Well, if you're talking about the actual chart, yeah, I don't see it on my end right here, but you don't really need the chart. You just need the number right here. So it's refreshing on my end. So it looks fine to me. I don't think I'm having any issue. Professor said, a little confused. Are you saying those who already subscribed? Yeah, no, exactly. So Professor, if you're already subscribed to the strategies, you're going to have access to all the updates. There's no additional for you guys. I was just talking about people who are trying to sign up to the strategies who aren't part of the strategies already. But you're going to have, Professor, everyone who's already subscribed to the strategies, you'll have access to the new indicator and the new strategies that come out. Yeah, so you're good, Professor, or Trey. I don't know if you want me to call you the Professor or Trey, whatever like works best for you. You're fine. No need to worry about that. So Roger said, to be clear, the Ftmo screenshot you took, I looked like you were alternating between buys and sells. Yeah, I was doing that because I was using the variation to the strategy, Roger, the variation that I haven't explained to everyone. The previous sessions, I told you guys that I wasn't going to teach you guys it because obviously it's going to confuse you guys. But there's a variation to the strategy where I can take trades in both directions. That's why I'm taking it, but it's not something that a beginner can learn. So I'm not teaching anybody that strategy anytime soon or probably ever, because I don't want you guys to be confused with how to trade, both strategies. It's just, if you guys trade that way, you're probably going to make a lot of mistakes because you're just going to get greedy. And I know that because I've gone greedy before, but luckily it's been, working in my favor. So new all-time high right here. I'm going to move this higher. See if there's anything else right here. Alfred said, what adjustments do you make to the TP stop loss during Asia session for the strategies? I usually half in it, Alfred. So normally we go for 100 pips. I only go for 50 because the spread's so high. The reason for that is because I'm not necessarily looking to get lesser profit. I'm just trying to cover the spread. Because currently right now the spread's like 20 or 30 pips. The spread during Asia session is like 50 to 60 pips. They're very wide. And you need to account for it. So I'm technically still going for 100 pips, but I just lower my TP to factor in the spread. So I usually just half it. Other than that, let's see, B's asking, I think you should make a video on a full explanation of MT4 for FTMO, MFF, etc. on a demo account. I'm trying to understand. So for this question, B, what kind of video are you wondering? Like, you want me to teach you how to use MT4, or is there something? Because MT4 is not my platform. So like, obviously I can't teach, I don't even know all the functions on MT4 myself. I only use MT4 because I have to. It's not necessarily because I want to. I'd rather use TradingView, but Ftmo only allows MT4. So I don't necessarily have, like, I don't even know how to use MT4 completely myself. So I can't really teach you guys how to use MT4 if I don't even know how to use it myself. I only know how to enter trades. I don't use the actual platform. I just use it to execute my trades for buys or sells, but I don't necessarily use any of the tools that they have. So, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. You just click buy or sell. I don't know like where the confusion is with it, if there is a confusion, but I don't even know how to use MT4 myself, so I can't really explain it. I mean, there's a bunch of YouTube videos for it. If you really want to learn how to use MT4. I didn't even look at the videos myself, but I'm going to scroll down over here. MetaTrader. Okay, so this is, you can even just Google it, like YouTube it. MetaTrader 4 tutorial for beginners. I mean, there's a lot of videos here that you can use. Like, this one has like 72,000 views. This one has like 700,000 views. You can use this to learn MT4. I mean, if it was my platform, obviously I'd know how to do everything, but I don't even know how to use it myself. So you might be better just using YouTube or Google or something to figure it out. Because I don't plan on using MT4 long term. If Ftmo starts to switch over to TradingView, then I'm going to use TradingView. I'm not going to be using MT4 anymore. I just use it because I have to at this moment. All right, let me scroll down a little bit. Christopher said, Shawn, maybe you can copy and paste those strategies so people can write them down in their notes. Yeah, no, I mean, I have them already. I don't think I posted them yet. I did send them to a couple people that asked for them in the past, but I will, I'll be posting them in the course eventually, hopefully by next week. It's just, or I can just send them to you guys here as well. I'll send them in the group. So let me just see if I have it here. Or I'll do it next week when I have the new strategy, because I don't want to post it now and then you guys are going to need an update for the Hilo scalp strategy. So I'll do that when the new strategy is. I'm trying to figure out where I even put it. Sorry guys, because someone else asked for it the other, and I'm trying to figure out who asked me for it. Yeah, I'll find it and I'll send it over, Chris. Let's see. All right, I'm just scrolling down real quick. I'm seeing what else I missed on my own. Yeah, so Christopher said, or people can just go review the videos that show on the website. Helps a lot. No, and that's the key, guys. That's why I don't give you guys stuff right away. I actually want you guys to learn this stuff. That's why whenever someone asks me a question, I always recommend that you guys go and watch the videos, because I can teach you how to do something right now, but then you're going to forget about it a few seconds later and you're going to ask me the same question tomorrow, right? So that's why I want you guys to go watch the videos and actually learn the strategy so that you guys don't have the same question every day, which I don't mind answering the question, but I want you guys to actually learn, right? I'm here to make sure that you guys are actually successful traders, not necessarily just following like my direction at every moment, because sometimes you guys have to like learn on your own. And that's why like a lot of people here profit more than me, right? So like, for example, for me here, I have like I only locked in about 1,000 for today, right? But you look at other people's profits over here and you see other people have profited way more than me. Like Twan's up 673, maybe not more than me, but Sisuk here, he locked in a total of 6,000, right? Because Sisuk knows the strategy. He knows it inside and out. He probably knows it better than me. So That's why like other people here are doing better than me, right? Jalan here, I didn't take the breakout, so I made less than that, but Jalan knew the strategy. He took it and he locked in 5,000. So it's important that you guys actually put in the work and learn the strategy so that you guys can, be self-efficient, so that you guys can trade off the live session. You don't have to just be following me as I trade on here. Let me scroll down a little further. Yes, a lot of people are talking about the pending buy over here. Guys, the reason why I wouldn't take the buy here right now is because it's at an all-time high. Because the last thing you want to do is enter a buy and then it comes right back down before coming back up, right? So right now is just a risky time, guys. I'm not taking any trades on my own. I'm done trading for the day. And I'm not trading because, for one, the Fed is speaking right now. Powell's going to speak in about 30 minutes. So you guys got to be careful if you guys want to trade today. We have this right here, the Fed speaking currently right now, Fed member daily, and then we have Fed member Powell speaking at 8. So I'm not taking any trades. I don't recommend you guys take any trades either, but if you guys do want to take a trade, make sure to use a smaller lot size and to protect your positions whenever possible. Because the last thing you guys want to do is enter a position, and then as soon as you enter it, it reverses because Powell's speaking in 30 minutes. All right, let me scroll down a little bit. All right, so let me just see what else is going on here. Sorry, guys. I see you guys are having side combos. Like, there's no need to get aggressive with each other. So it's all good. People just have questions, and I'm going to try to help you guys as much as possible. It's just, I don't know how to use MT4, so that's why I wouldn't make if I knew how to use it as good as I know how to use TradingView, like I have a video where I explain how to use TradingView, and I can explain that. I can't explain MT4 because I don't necessarily use it that much. I just use it to execute my trades. And it's not that I don't want to teach you guys, it's just that I don't have knowledge to really teach MT4. And I only teach the stuff that I really know. Prometheus said, I'm sure all the successful traders in K2 aren't having their hands held by Shawn, so we actually have to learn what he's teaching and not just ask for things you can do for yourself. No, exactly, Prometheus. And that's what I'm trying to get across to you guys, right? I want to help you guys as much as possible, but you guys have to struggle sometimes to learn certain things with regard to the strategies, with regards to like everything in general. Like one thing that I always like get a question about is people asking me what lot size to use for Ftmo. I've already given you guys like, the math equation. It's very simple, but I still get the question every day because people don't want to do the work themselves. So that's like another thing too, right? I don't mind giving you guys the lot sizes to use, but it's really simple. Like for example, if you're taking a one lot on Ftmo, a one lot is $1 per pip. So like, for example, if you're doing a one lot and you have a 500 pip stop loss, you multiply it by 500 and your risk is 500. So, and I'll go over that at another time. If you guys have that question, I know we have new members, so I don't mind teaching it to you guys, but it's like very, very simple. All right, let me scroll down a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, so Essa said, I'm in K2 for a while now, but I still only use the 1 minute and now the high-low 3 minutes sometimes. Yeah, exactly, Essa. So like what I recommend for you guys is like once you guys figure out a strategy that you guys really like, just master that. There's some people who only use a 1 minute pivot scalp and they're killing it every day. There's some people who only use the 3 minute pivot scalp. There's some people who only use the daily strategies, right? The snipe strategy, stuff like that. And they do very well. So all the strategies work perfectly fine. It just depends on like what your preference is. All right, let me scroll down a little bit and see what else I am missing. Andre's asking, I took a huge loss mixing up the strategies as a newbie. Listen to the man. No, exactly, guys. So that's key, that you guys follow one strategy, and then once you master that, then you can move on to the next one. If you guys try to master everything at once, you're probably gonna make mistakes. Roger said, cool, appreciate it. I'm trying and certainly trying to see how all strategies connect. Exactly, Roger. So that's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing because you might be mixing them up, Roger. So what I do recommend is just stick to one, master that. Once you're done with that, then move on to the next one. But you have to like really master it. You can't just like get it right once and you're like, okay, I've mastered it. Because the thing is, you have to tie it in with different market conditions. Like, we've been talking a lot like the past couple of weeks because you're trying to understand, what the bias is with the fundamentals and technicals and retail sentiment. So what I do recommend is understand how to identify those with one strategy. Don't try to mix it with different strategies because you're just going to confuse yourself long term, and it's not going to be a good move. All right, so Abraham over here said, I know we had one a while back. Any chance? Yeah, so Abraham, that's going to be happening next week when I release a new strategy to you guys in this new indicator. I'll probably be publishing it over the weekend, hopefully, or by next week, and then you guys will have access to it. Lisa said goal for the week is 4K. I'm 105 short. Come on, one last trade. So Lisa here wants to make 4K a week. She's right below it. She's at 3,895, it looks like. So she's almost there. So maybe one more trade, Lisa, and you should be good. It's currently at the all-time high, guys. So you guys want to be a little careful here with this entry. Let's see how far to draw it back over here. So technically, I think it's going to break it, but I think it's going to be risky. Because this is the all-time high. So this pink line right here is the all-time high right now, guys, if you guys are wondering what that line is. And that becomes a risky area because a lot of people are trying to trade both directions. Let me refresh this real quick. You can see a lot of the retail traders are entering the short side because they're trying to catch it as it drops, but it's not necessarily going to be guaranteed to drop. So it's something that you guys want to be aware of. All right. Let me get through the rest of the questions here. Flynn's asking, do we have access to the high-low indicator? Probably by next week, Flynn. I'm going to try to get it to you guys as soon as possible, if I can. So Maddie said full TP up the high-low at 13. Oh yeah, so Maddie caught that right there. Nice work, Maddie. I didn't even see that. So Maddie here just messaged me. He caught the high-low right here because we had the high right here. Price broke and closed above it right here, and he took it up right before it got to the high. So he took the high-low right there and made a quick profit. Literally broke right through it and went straight to TP. So great work, Maddie. All right, let me scroll down a little lower. Okay, cool. So I'll keep referring to that there as the professor. Lamar said, I'm loving watching the new secret strategy play out, right, Lamar? Some of you guys know what I'm doing here. Lamar said, I haven't implemented it, but I see what's happening and it's beautiful. Exactly, Lamar. It's a really nice strategy. The secret strategy, eventually I'll probably teach it to you guys, or I might have a separate group. I might have a separate group with the advanced traders within K2. I'm not going to teach the beginners it because it's very risky, but it is very lucrative. So eventually I'll probably be teaching it to you guys, but you guys will probably understand what I'm talking about when I start applying it anyways. It's a very simple strategy, but you have to actually understand it. Lisa said US 30 going to make it to the moon before Elon Musk. This thing has flown this week. I know exactly right. Definitely. B said I'm fine with it myself. Just thought maybe an overview for people would be a good suggestion, but I suppose it's unnecessary. I mean, if I figure out how to do it better, then yeah, obviously I'll help you guys out with it. But right now, I don't really plan on getting any much better at MT4. Ellis said using a tool called Market Watch really helped me set a TP stop loss quickly. I've never seen that one before. Probably check that out later. All right, let me scroll down a little bit. Let's see. Okay, cool. Noel said, do I have to upgrade my account? Yeah, Noel, because you only have access to live sessions. You don't have access to the strategy. So you won't have access to the indicator unless you have, and I'll message you directly, Noel. So we'll talk about that later. Flynn's asking, how do we get access to the high-low indicator? It's not out yet, Flynn. It's going to be out probably next week. Henry's asking, can you go over the day strategy? Because I notice sometimes you have different TPs depending on the market. Which one are you referring to, Henry? Are you talking about the daily strategy? It's always been the same. TP has always been at fixed 1,500. The different TPs are if you're doing something different. If you're doing the 3-minute, it's a smaller time frame. So that's why it has a different TP there. Or if you're using the 1 minute, it has a different time frame. So it's a different TP because it's a smaller move. So the day strategy has been the same for the past, I think, 5 years now. We've never changed the TP stop loss. It's always been 1,500 pips. Henry, are you referring to the 10-minute, which is, the actual day strategy? The 3-minute isn't an official strategy. We just started practicing this recently because one of the members mentioned it. So this isn't even something that you guys should be applying on your own. This is something that if I see, I'll cover it, but it's not necessarily a strategy that you should be applying on your own because it's not an official strategy yet. So Henry, which one are you referring to? I just want to make sure that you, because this one's never been changed. This one's been the same as it's been for years now, and we never change it. The only difference is when you go from different time frames because they're a smaller move, right? If you're on the 10-minute, these are bigger candles. They're like 3-minute candles, so you have to go for a bigger move. That's why this is like a third of what the TP is for the 10-minute because it's totally different. So yeah, if you want to confirm that, Henry, we can probably go over that. But I think currently right now, I'm not sure which one you're referring to because there's only one daily strategy, which is this one, and it hasn't been changed in since its inception like years ago. So said finally doing things right. No, I agree, definitely. Yeah, no problem, Roger. Albert said Kevin O'Leary said keep it simple, referring to his stock portfolio. Exactly, Albert. And that's why I only stick to US 30 pretty much. That's the only thing. Like I just figured out that I need to master one of them. So Henry, I think you're confused with what I talked about because the daily entry is only during one session. There's no other session you can take the strategy. This is only during New York session. So I think you're confused because I never mentioned anything like that. I think you're referring to the thing where the TP stop loss changes is when you're trading the 1 minute during Asia session because the spread's different. So this is completely different from the daily. This has nothing to do with the daily. This is a totally different strategy. And the strategy isn't even released yet. So I'll go over this next week when I actually go over the strategy, but this stuff hasn't been covered yet. So it's not something that you should be concerned with because the strategy isn't even released. And generally, you're not supposed to trade during Asia session anyways. Henry said, can you review the daily strategy again, please? So the daily strategy, you're just looking. So here's the daily strategy. There's nothing different here. This is the same strategy. Look for the entry after New York Stock Exchange open because you only apply this during New York session. So there's no entry available here. I'll see if there's one that I can go over. I think the last one was like on Monday. Everything else kind of came a little later. But here, let me see if there's one here. Okay, so here's one entry right here. Let me just go back over here and replay this. All right. So Henry, looking at this right here, you're looking for the first, so the first requirement is look for entry after New York Stock Exchange open, which is 6:30 a.m. Pacific time. So looking at this right here, this is 6:30 a.m., right? You're looking for the first valid signal after it. So the second requirement is confirm the first valid K2 momentum signal. So looking at this right here, this is 6:30. This is the first signal after it, right? And it's valid because it's a buy signal with a green candle within it. So after that, you just enter on the open of the falling candle, which is right here. And you're going for 1,500 pips. That's pretty much it. That's how simple the strategy is. And lastly, you just want to make sure that the cutoff time for entries is after 9 a.m. So it's before 9 a.m. so you can take this trade here. So if you were to take this trade and you let it run, you can see right here, this is why it's a daily strategy because it doesn't always hit TP right away. Sometimes it takes time and it's continuing to push on further, but it's in profit the entire day, right? And there you go, it hits TP right there. It took like almost, it took like 17 hours or almost 17 hours, but it hit TP eventually. That's why it's a daily strategy because you take it and you pretty much let it run until TP unless you move your stop loss in profit. So yeah, hopefully that helps for you, but that's the daily strategy. It's not very difficult at all. Lisa's asking, do you look at the DXY? What the I don't. So I used to look at it before, but I don't anymore because it doesn't necessarily move in conjunction with US 30. It moves in conjunction with gold, but not necessarily for US 30. Other than that, let me see if there's any other questions. I think that's it for the questions here on the Zoom. Let's see, another question here is from Khalil is asking, can you explain some of your subscriptions? So the subscription options, there's only 2 options that are available. The live trading room option is where you'll get access to the Zoom. I know you're here on the YouTube, but the Zoom is real time while the YouTube is delayed about 30 to 60 seconds. So if you're scalping with us, it's going to make it very difficult for you to enter the trade on time because what might happen is we'll enter the trade. And then if the trade's only in there for like maybe 10 or 20, 30 seconds, by the time we exit, you're barely entering the trade and we're already out in profit. So If you want access to the live session real time, it would be this, the K2 live trading room. Vice versa, if you want access to the actual strategy. So if you want access to all of these indicators here, all of these strategies with all the requirements, pretty much access to all of the mentoring sessions and access to pretty much everything to apply the same strategies that everyone else is doing here, then, like Twan over here said, nothing big. He locked in 723. He's been trading on his own because he has the indicators. If you want access to the indicators, then you'll click on K2 strategies here. So there's only two different options, one for the live trading room only, and then one for the actual strategies. And those are the two main options right there. Other than that, let me see if there's any other questions. Let's see, Falcon said, just confused on how to list US 30 stocks as chart might become messy. That might be a little difficult, Falcon, because the thing with the US 30 stocks is that they change, right? It's not always going to be the same. They swap them out sometimes. Like if the stock's not doing well, then they switch them out. So for me personally, I think that that's just too much work because I don't know. It's like how to keep up with that. I do have a watch list here actually with the Dow 30 stocks. Or I used to. I don't have it here anymore. Actually, oh, it's right here, the Dow Jones. So I have all the stocks listed right here, but I think some of these have changed and they're not even on here anymore. Like this UTX, they're not on there anymore. So I don't really have an explanation for you to get that. I mean, I appreciate your help with us, trying to figure out how to make an indicator for it. But I'm not really the most tech savvy guy here, so I probably can't really help you with that, Falcon. But I do appreciate that you've been helping us with it. I'll probably have to figure that out. If I do figure it out, I'll let you know. But no, thanks for helping us with that. So yeah, if we can figure out a way, what you can do is you could probably just add the US 30 index in there. But I don't think it lines up with it. So let me see this real quick. It doesn't, yeah. Because this is a daily. The problem with the daily is that it's different from the futures data. And if you're looking at the futures data right here, it says it's up like 4 points, but it's not up 4 points. It's up like 152 points and up 114. So I don't really know what we could do with that. I'm not really a big programmer, so I wouldn't really know. Other than that, let's see. Kenny, I'll message you on Telegram to help you with that. Looks like Kenny just signed up to K2, so I'll help you with that on Telegram in a little bit. It's getting hot now. It's like super cold this morning, not super hot. But yeah, other than that, so Kenny, go into the Zoom, go into the premium groups, and that's where you get access to the Zooms. It's posted every morning before we go live. Harmony's asking, how do you connect TradingView to Ftmo? You can't. They don't connect. So you have to use separate platforms. That's why I use two different ones. Last question right here is from Robin's asking, hi, Shawn, could you give an example in taking the 1 minute and high-low scalp strategy? Yeah, so let me see if I can find one over here. So it's the same requirement. Well, it's the same thing that I showed you guys earlier, like this over here. Looking at this over here, this is going to be an entry for both. So let me just show you this over here. Sarah said, look at the 720 shirt. Exactly right. Hopefully I can get my 720 by next year. I'm trying to buy a house though, so I think I might just buy a house first before I buy my 720. But I definitely, eventually I'm going to be getting my 720 at some point. That's like goals right there. So anyways, looking at this right here, let me just go over here and I'll show you the high-low entry right here. Robin, basically right here, you want to confirm the previous swing high-low. So like right here is the previous low, right? Reason for that is because price swung low and this became the low. And then this became the high right here. So this would be the swing high and this would be the swing low. In order to confirm it, you want to make sure that the low's been established and it hasn't been passed within the previous 4 or 5 candles. So this is a low here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And with that said, that's the low. It's been established. For the second requirement, you want to confirm a break and close past it. Right here, price breaks and close past it. So that's requirement number 2. Requirement number 3, you want to confirm that you're trading in the proper direction. So right here, you want to make sure that momentum is going down. Right here, we have a sell momentum. So that's going to be the 3rd requirement. The 4th requirement, you want to make sure price isn't ranging, which it isn't. It's going up and down. And lastly, you want to confirm that price hasn't touched the previous swing before the break and close. So right here, you can see the price broke and close it, and it's never touched it before that. So with that said, you enter on the open of the falling candle right here. And then, yeah, you pretty much let it run. So your TP stop loss can be 130, 100, and 300. So you let that run. And there you go. That's an entry using the high-low scalp strategy. An example of, and this is the same exact entry for the other one as well. So if you want to look at the 1 minute pivot strategy, it's the same exact thing. It's just, you're looking at different requirements. So for this right here, it's a lot more simpler. You're looking for a valid K2 momentum signal, which is right here, right? We have a valid sell signal, and it's valid because it's a sell signal with a red candle within it. Second, you want to confirm that price is below the K2 pivots for a sell or above it for a buy. Right here, it's below the pivots and we're looking for a sell. So that lines up. You enter on the open of the falling candle, same thing. Short position right there. TP stop loss, same thing as well. 100, 300. You let it run and full TP off that. So it's pretty simple. All right, so I think that's it for this right here. Let me see if there's any other questions. I'm about to get off soon. So let's see. Falcon said, I'll make sure one object for future, one object for actual Dow, but listing all the stocks to see where is green or red will be a little hectic on the chart. Exactly, Falcon. It's going to be hard because they change that index like pretty often. So whenever it changes, like we're going to have to figure out a way to identify, when and where the stocks are being changed out. So it is going to be a little bit hectic for us to figure that out. Matt said, I have one suggestion. Shawn, instead of a special session next week, can we just do one earlier before New York opens any day? Maybe, Matt. It's going to be hard for us to do that because, we can try it, but the thing is, like, everyone's on different time scales, so like not everyone can make it. Like the afternoon session works better for everyone else, so it's kind of hard for us to get people before, and it's like a lot of people trade pre-market, so it might be difficult. But I will, we'll talk about it. We'll figure out. We'll see if people can make it. If not, then it'll be recorded. But then we can always get on another session in the future to do that as well. Also, I don't want to do it before because I'm going to be tired, right? If I'm having a mentoring session with you guys for like an hour, 2 hours, and then I have to trade after that with you guys live, I'm going to be burnt out. So it's not really going to make sense for me to do that because obviously the trading sessions are more important. But we'll figure it out, Matt. We'll talk about it. Last question here is from CJ. CJ is asking, so as this keeps flying, retail sentiment for short will continue to rise, but at some point US 30 will need to come down either for retracement or a complete reversal. So how would you trade that if retail sentiment for short is still high? I think I know the answer, but I wanted to hear your response. You just wait for it, CJ. So if it starts to shift the other direction, you're not going to enter just because it's starting to shift, right? You're going to wait for this number to decrease. Once it decreases and it goes from 74 short to 74 long, that's when you start to change. Or once it doesn't have to like necessarily like flip from like short to long. It can just go from 70% to like 50%. If it's like midway, then you can start trading the other direction. That's probably the main thing that you'll be looking for. But there's no like you obviously want to trade the opposite of retail traders, but there's different ways of doing it, but you're not necessarily looking for this to be 74% short and then go straight to 70% long, because that's probably not going to happen. It'll probably go from 74% short and then slowly make its way to like 50%, where it's like right down the middle, and then it'll go to like 51% long, and then you can start shifting your bias. But there's it's all about patience, like how we always talk about. You're not going to try to catch the top or catch the low. You just want to wait to see where there's a confirmation, and then you want to enter it from that point. So that's pretty much how I would do it, and how I'd recommend other people to do it as well. All right, other than that, I think that's about it. So Kenny, when you sign up to K2, as soon as you signed up, there was a welcome page. It had your links to the K2 premium groups. You probably missed it. If you missed that, go on your email. It was also emailed to you, so you'll have links there in your email. If you missed that as well, just log into the K2 course, and then you can find it under the module of K2 premium groups. There's like 3 different places that they were sent to you. If you missed all of those, just message me and I'll probably try to walk you through it. I'll just send you your links, but it was provided to you on the welcome page. It's also sent to you through your welcome email, and it was also provided in the course under the K2 premium group modules. So let me see if you're even in here. Yeah, it doesn't show that you've gone into the room at all. So you probably missed all those. Check your email. Your links are going to be sent there. So other than that, guys, I think that's it. Have a great weekend. If you guys have any questions, feel free to email me or message me, and I'll get back to you guys as soon as possible. I'm probably not going to get back to you guys soon. I'm going to go boxing right now. So I have my boxing. I gotta go meet for my boxing class at 8:30. So I gotta run. So guys, I'll have a great weekend, and then I'll catch you guys next week on Market Open. If you guys have questions, go ahead and message me, email me, do anything you guys need to, and I'll get to you guys after my boxing session. I got my boxing session at 8:30, so I'll probably be there for a couple hours. I'll try to get some sparring in today. So I'll see you guys then. If you guys have questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, if you guys decide to trade, remember that Powell is speaking at 8 o'clock. So, you guys want to be careful and not trade around that time. So just be careful if you guys want to trade. If not, use a smaller lot size and remember to protect your position. So other than that, I'll see you guys